Hey yo, how's it going, boys? What is up? So it's back once again for yet another which one should you pick? not should you spark. This is not a spark video, man. This is a Suptix video. So it's more like what do you want if you're planning to throw your money on the screen, or more like for the game, whatever. Especially when the yen currency is dropping like crazy, you probably might want to do that because it's a lot cheaper for you this time around, right? So if you want to do it, yeah, and you have nothing else better, like you don't not know who do you want to pick, then maybe this video might help you. It might not. If not, then you can always ask on chat, on stream chat or Discord or something. Yeah, those stuff. So there's a few things that I'm going through for this particular one. So first one, I will be mentioning like the new characters that got added into this set ticket, yeah. And the other one would be follow up with Guild War recommendations, because if you guys didn't know, they have already announced that Win Favorite Guild War will be in November, or is it October? November, right? Yeah, it's mentioned here. Yeah, November. So boss is gonna be Earth, so it's gonna be Win Favorite. So yeah, they already announced it here. So that's pretty much about like which category it will be. So I'm just gonna go through if every single character that got added in based on their date. What's that? Based on the date, yeah, that they got added in. So we go all the way back to Yo and Laguna first. So Yo is a character that is very confusing. It's like she wants to be a attacker kind of thing, but at the same time she wants to have some utility here and there. So she has like some substitute and like dodge all and stuff, and some nukes here and there. So it's kind of like, yeah. So but at the same time, it's like she has this bait, like it's kind of similar to her SR version, but at the same time it's like you cannot really use it in full auto, as you can see. So it's like you can only really make use of this in in manual. But I wouldn't really say that she's really dog shit in terms of like full auto. You can actually kind of use her, but I wouldn't really suggest going for her in this specific Suptix, because there's really no reason for you to do that, because there's so many other light characters to choose from, and yeah, much better choices than Yo. Unless you want to pick her because you like her or some shit, then by all means, right? I'm not here to judge, but yeah, that's kind of like my 2 cents on this set character. Next one, we have Laguna. Laguna is more like another character that they try to create, where is they try to emphasize more on Ogi as well. So yeah, like if you have a lot of like meter generation, like from Kango or like Octo and whatever, is actually she can be a relatively decent character. I wouldn't say she's like top of the line kind of thing, but yeah, she's actually not too bad, just because like, yeah, you need to, because if I recall correctly, I remember testing her a little bit because I do have the character. She can heal herself quite a bit, she can dispel quite a bit, but the problem is that you need this Omar's recollection, and it needs to be at maximum stacks in order for her to activate twice. And yeah, 10 stacks, 1 level upon taking damage at the end of turn. And I don't think there's no other way for you to actually really get that stacks besides really taking damage. So in other words, it's like you need 10 turns for her. So it's kind of, the ramp is slow as shit. Yeah, the ramp is really slow, and so it's like, yeah, she sounds cool on paper, but like she's kind of dated already, unfortunately. Yeah, because Gandalf is a thing as well, so I wouldn't really suggest her either. Next one we have Sophia for water. To be fair, I don't think you really even need to consider this either way. She's like a, she's kind of like it's kind of like the original OG Light Tico in a way, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, Guild Wars just over. Do you really want to go for her? I wouldn't really suggest it either. Yeah, so she's like very, very like focused on just keeping your teams alive with all the heals, the utility and shit, right? And you even get like this special buff and stuff. But the thing is, like, you need her to what's that? Yeah, she relies on the boss to do a special attack in order for you to reduce this, because this thing is really, really slow, because this goes down to like 12 turns, was it? Was it 12 turns? What's the cooldown at after? Yeah, 12 turns, yeah. And then she gets all these debuffs here and there, and then this one is like, you just get her to like permanently to... Not really permanently, because, you know, 5 turns though. She just heals for like 5 turns and shit, but you can't really full auto with this, because it's a green border. But then again, it's not like you really need that for a full auto to begin with. But yeah, other than, yeah, seriously though, like with Guild War being over, and there's probably better characters out there anyway compared to her, so unless you really want her just because of like home screen or whatever, then yeah, once again, up to you, man. Not really a good idea. The next one is Skull Beluga. Skull Beluga is I would say he's OTK bursty type of character. No, yeah, because you know they can activate their nuking skill, and then at the same time, right? At the same time, if the boss has uses a special attack, you also activate a skill again. So in other words, they can nuke relatively hard for Earth favorite OTK kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. But Guild War is over for quite some time already, and I don't think you really need this kind of character for burst regardless. So not really something I would recommend at this point of time either. But you can't really deny the fact that they have very, very good potential in terms of OTK-centric stuff when it's Ogi focused. You can technically use them for the wrestler shit as well, because, you know, they have the entire turn of what's that? Assassin. They have a whole turn assassin, so that's pretty good. And then if you have like, if you're using like Kirin and stuff, you can get quite a bit of damage done. It's not too bad. So at the same time, not recommended, but if you really need the OTK for Earth, yeah, sure, by all means, right? Next one we have Manamel. Manamel is kind of like the Supticable version of what's the name? Summer Magisa in a way. But at the same time, Manamel is just more of to pure all-in damage. Meanwhile, Summer Magisa has like Sustain, Armored, and Charge Bar Gain. Or is it just giving meter? You know, those stuff. While she just really just nukes like crazy, gives you Dark Crest, and then debuffs here and there. But yeah, mostly just damage. Just lots and lots of damage. Mostly focused on just multi-hit skill damage kind of shit, because this thing does a lot of damage in a way. But I wouldn't really suggest her, because, you know, Dark is already like so stacked, especially especially like when Summer was just not too long ago. And I'm quite sure a lot of people would already spark for Summer Magisa if you need that set character for your Dark. You know, if you're going for like the nuke base thingy, you do not have your Leech or Fidel or something, and you needed that kind of character for Dark to help you in that. And yeah, you already have that. There's no reason for you to really go for her. You know, not at all. Next one we have Anna. Anna is also kind of like a very, very like a very confusing character. It's like her skill set is like she doesn't know what she wants to do. You know, she has like, for some reason she has Assassin, right? For some reason, she has Assassin, and then she has like some debuffs here and there, nukes, and then she has this brand new thing here, the brand new debuff Sing here. You know, they just added all this, so it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, no, not really. I don't think you really want to get use her at all, because I did get her like on release, I think, because you know, I think there was like some, was it free rolls or did I YOLO roll or some shit and I just luck shit her or something. But yeah, it's not really that great at all. I wouldn't really suggest this either. Not at all. Next one we have Jamal. Jamal, you can just forget about him because he sucks. Just because that he is his skill set is very dated. Yeah. His skill set is just way too dated. I wouldn't really suggest getting him at all, or even considering him. And not to mention they have like a really weird glitch with his first skill. I wouldn't say it's a glitch, it's more like they have some really odd interaction, and for some reason they don't include the delay here when he actually does delay as well. It's just so weird that sometimes they just don't include like the information in game. Yeah, man, I do not know why. But okay, the next one is probably the one that everyone's been waiting for, because she's literally on the screen on the left, which is Elia. So Elia is pretty good. I think I did remember mentioning a lot of good stuff about her when I first saw her on her release as well. She's a relatively good character to have. She helps you in OTK. She helps you even in full auto. The only thing you need to do is to put her in a specific position in your front line. So, and for the most part, you probably want to put her in the third slot because MC is on the first slot, right? So yeah, you just want to put her in the third slot, and then she gets free supplemental CA damage and amplify as well for herself, which is probably what you want, just because that her first skill will automatically be able to activate twice, and she gets CA specs on her second skill, which is kind of whatever. I honestly just think that if you're in an Ogi base lineup as well, you will get like a fuck ton of damage here, because she has a 4-hit win 4-hit nuke, and her base cap on first skill is really high. Yeah, and then if you're using her in the third slot, she'll activate twice, right? And also because the reason why I say it's also good for OTK, because you know it literally just says here it will automatically activate her first skill. And once again, third ally. And that's good. Why? Because your Jutens are usually stuck in position 2 if you're planning to use the double long dong strat for your Ogi OTK kind of stuff. So it's perfect. Yeah, it's actually very perfect. That's why it's great. Really good OTK, and I would even say that to a certain degree full auto is going to be really strong too. Just that besides the amount of damage that she's really providing, she doesn't really do too much utility besides just her debuff stackable kind of thing. She doesn't really have like a dispel or whatever. The only thing you get really out of her is the delay effect, but you need to put her either in the second or the fourth ally to actually get it to work. So yeah, it's just really more of like if you really need like a DPS nuker skill based character kind of shit, then yeah, Elia can really do that to you. Other than that, yeah, she can probably choke you with her legs or something, right? All right, moving on. Last one will be Gwyn. Gwyn is actually really good though. The only problem with Gwyn is that Guild War just ended. So there's really no reason for you to go for her anymore. Yeah. Guild War is literally just over 2 days ago, man. So you can just ignore Gwyn for now. She is really good for Guild War. Like, yeah, for sure. But like, yeah, Guild War is over though. So just ignore that for now. Okay, so that's all for the new set characters. The other one they added in is obviously the Luo. Oops. They added Luo as well in the summon pool. But I think I mentioned this before. in all the previous ones. Like all these summons, like especially dragons, they're all good, but you only want to get them if you are using primal, because they are all stacking primal modifiers. So if you're not really primal, they don't really help you too much. They only help you a little bit if you're using like specific what's that, primal-ish type of weapons in your grid. You know, like say for example, if you're like using Naru's sword, not katana, then you know the Grand Naru's weapon as like your main hand for or whatnot, because you know it's a relatively decent main hand, gives you echo and whatnot. If you're doing that, then yeah, you want to make it a little bit better, then yeah, sure, why not, right? It kind of works, especially if you're if you have like a lot of space in your sub summon, sub aura shit, whatever. Yeah, if you have a lot of space, yeah, it can kind of work, right? Because you know Naru's weapon has also crit and stuff in there, so you can kind of, you know, bump up your crit a little bit if you're Magna based. But honestly, if you're Magna, you have fucking harps and shit, so there's really no reason for you to do that. You know. But yeah, so it's, yeah, honestly, summons I'm not really gonna emphasize too much, because that's usually what they tend to do with all these dragon summons. And then not to mention, like, they have what's that, the primals all in here as well already for quite some time. So it's like, if you really want to like get like a specific primal summon or whatever that you need, by all means, that's really entirely up to you. I'm not really gonna do any form of suggestion. It's just more like, you want to go for primal, pick one. You know. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. The weapons, I'm not really gonna mention anything because they're all the same. So right now we are gonna go into the win favorite Guild War recommendations and stuff. Honestly, going through the list of these win characters, there really isn't that many, or there isn't really many choices that I can really suggest, because they haven't really put out too many win characters, subtickable ones as of yet, besides like a certain one that just literally, yeah, we are looking at her right now. There are like a few set characters. So first one, obviously, because you know we're just gonna go from like first page down to the way to the last page, I would probably say that despite US's recently gotten a rebalance, I would still say it's just better off you just go use Elia or something, because US's rebalance made her a much usable character, yeah, for sure. But like, in terms of like the skill set that she has, I would still think that Elia just outright shits on her, just because that she just does way more damage. It's just more like, to me, Ulysses is just more of like, you only want to use her for like the defensive stance she has, because that one just allows her to provide a whole lot more utility to the party. So she can tank, she can help heal and stuff. Like, it's kind of sad that I can't really show, because they don't really show that shit here. Because you know she can switch her mode, so they don't really fully show like the information in game here. But yeah, so it's just like she can change to either like an offensive or defensive mode. So it's like the defensive mode, I would say, is probably more fitted for like maybe Guild War 200 or some shit. Yeah, it feels like that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think you really need to go for that, just because that in terms of like a defensive character, I feel like you probably will go for others instead of her. But at the same time, it's like the defensive character, yeah, you probably want to just stick with maybe like Tiamat or something. Yeah, but for now, Elia, I would say she's good, but like, I don't think she's fit for 200 at all. The most I can actually see Elia being used is maybe Nightmare 150. But like, other than that, you mostly just use Elia or grab Elia's in this Suptix just for your OTK, especially if you're having a lot of problems in OTK. Because Elia's OTK prowess is just really, really, really strong. Yeah, she just does so much damage on her own in the Ogi base OTK, that she just, yeah, as I already explained earlier, right? Because yeah, she just shits damage like crazy. The other one I probably suggest is Tiamat, because I already mentioned earlier. I will get into Anyo for a bit, but like Tiamat, I would still say Tiamat still like still holds up relatively strong until today, I would say. The only problem I would say is that you need to follow me break her. Yeah, you definitely need to follow me break her to actually make her a very, very, very strong supportive character. Just because that she provides you know what? I think I'll just go to the main her actual screen, because that's not follow me break. So her follow me break, she can actually just also outright provides you a seraphic weapon. Yeah. She just have her in your party, then you don't really have to slot in a seraphic weapon or any of the sort. So you can actually just put in, especially if you're a Magna player, right? You can just put in like any other extra weapons, like put in another spoon, for example, just so you can say, just help you a lot better for Nightmare 200. And then she also allows your team to be buffed. It gives your team extra buff as well. So this is very, very handy, It's very, very handy. And then it also gives you extra heals as well. And it's a recastable heal because it's yellow border. And it just, yeah, it's all together very, very helpful. And then you get extra nuke, and it allows you to debuff and shit. And then you get a much cooler debuff the moment she hits 5 crests. So it's pretty damn nice. Yeah, so Tiamat still holds up until today, and she's just really, really good, man. So the other one, oops, why the hell did I go to the draw page? So the other one is obviously, I would say, is Anyo. And I would say probably Anyo and Tiamat falls off the very, very similar category, where you only use them for like maybe 150, maybe Nightmare 200 kind of full auto kind of setup. Because Anyo is like that character where she can consistently nuke every single turn, and then she just debuffs like crazy, and then she gets so much extra shit. And yeah, she also gives like a little bit of debuff, and then the charge diamonds, sure, and here and there. She just nukes really, really hard. Yeah. And then not to mention, yeah, this thing is really good. I really like this passive for Anyo. This thing is like, if you actually manage to dispel something, I think this one only works if you are physically dispelling with wait, I'm not sure, does it work with Ogi base setup? I actually don't really recall, because I don't really use her that much. So yeah, so that's why I like this so much, because it's like I don't really remember too much, but I didn't really emphasize a lot on this back then or some shit. This one is really, really strong just because that we are able to, like, any form of dispel, as long as it dispels something, it just does that shit. That's why it's so strong, right? So it's like, say for example, if you're using like Monkey, right? If you're using Monkey, you just dispel on Ogi and you dispel something, this triggers, right? Like, holy shit, it's so good. But I think it only triggers like once a turn or something. Yeah, it only triggers once per turn. It's like if you dispel more than once, it doesn't activate more than once. Unfortunately, but it's still really, really strong though. Because it's not like how Justice works, right? Or Maria, I mean, from for water, where you actually have to like dispel with your skills or whatever, then it will work. It's not like you Ogi or whatever, then it will work. So yeah, it's really, really nice. But yeah, other than that, yeah, she just outright shits on damage just because, yeah, like once again, multi-hit, very strong, supplemental, here and there, blah blah blah, very nice, yeah. And then she also keeps herself alive with all that shit, because, you know, where every time she Ogis, she automatically triggers this. So in other words, she's just gonna cast this non-stop, and she probably will just have constant drain and shit to just keep herself alive, blah blah blah. Yeah, just really, really good altogether. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's really anyone else, but like, I would probably say Lolly Yugu is also kind of like, I feel like she works kind of like Tiamat, but at the same time, it's like Tiamat is just better. Because I feel like Yugu is more of like a healer focused support kind of character. Like she just wants to like keep you alive and just buff your team here and there, while Tiamat actually does all that. At the same time, she can actually damage as well. And then she's a walking seraphic weapon. So it's just, I feel like she's just a much better character to pick in if you're lacking in a character like that, and if you need a character like that. I'm not sure if it's really going to be godlike for like Nightmare 200 or something, but I can kind of see that being work because you know, a skill set is like, it fits for Guild War kind of shit, right? Especially if you already just gone through, you know, Water Favorite Guild War, you know how that shit is. Yeah. I'm sure you guys know probably by now like how bad Nightmare 200 can actually shit on you. So having a character like Tiamat might probably be a lot better. Like even in comparison to like Anyo in a way. Just that I feel like Anyo is just more of like, if you want more damage, you use her kind of thing. But then at the same time, it's like, if you want a little bit of extra utility, because you know the Anyo just provide all those set buffs to herself, so it's kind of like she can provide a little bit more than a certain selfish character, you know, for some selfish characters here and there. Yeah, so it's not too bad. And then the next one I would probably say is that Henriette is your Summer Kowar at home type of character. If you do not have Summer Kowar and you want to burst, you can kind of use Henriette. Like I remember mentioning this before, she's not the greatest, she's not super good at it, but she can kind of do it, right? Especially if you're lacking in Summer Kowar and you have Naru and shit and whatever. Henriette can kind of do that. Not that good, still can work. I'm not sure why people keep pointing out, it's like, oh, there's other better characters though, but it's like, yeah, I'm just saying, she can work, not the greatest. Not that strong, but still can work. There's a very heavy emphasis on the can work part, okay? Just want to point that out. I wouldn't really fully suggest it, but I'm just saying, right? I'm just putting it there. You can technically use her for that. Okay, and Vera is also another OTK kind of character, but because you know Elia is already a thing, if you really need OTK character, I would suggest you just go pick Elia. Yeah, unless you already have Elia and you just need more upgrades for your OTK, yeah, you can go for Vera, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like if you want to go for like another set of OTK type of thing, probably maybe Azusa might be better. But yeah, Azusa is actually not bad too. Yeah. I'm not sure if she's gonna be used, but I think they might actually consider using her because she's Grand Naru at home. Yeah, she's like, I feel like she's the budget Grand Naru in a way. If you do not have Grand Naru, you use her. Kind of thing. Yeah. I don't think I have really much else to add to that. This is like, yeah, she does well in like autos. She can nuke relatively well because you know she has double 4-hit shit, and then she can extend her thing infinitely for her first skill. Yeah, and then she has nukes here, nukes there, amplify there, guaranteed triple, blah blah blah. Yeah. But like, yeah, if you guys didn't know, she has this hit to normal attack accuracy, which is I think 80%. But then if you have your if she has a first skill, that doesn't exist at all, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, I think that's all for win favored stuff, because I think this video is pretty long already, and don't really want to add too long. The other characters are kind of whatever. I feel like I'd probably say Sho has like a special mention just because like Burst these days for Primal kind of uses his weapon, so if you want to do that, sure. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, I mean Sutera is cool, but Sutera is a proving ground character, so I wouldn't really suggest that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everyone. I think I covered everything already. The more, I wouldn't really say cover every single character though, but I more like would say I covered the ones that are necessary. Because Guild War is still technically 2 months away, and I'm guessing they might put a Suptix again, but can't be too sure because this Suptix and the previous Suptix is like more than 3 months. Probably longer. I wouldn't know. So either way, if you need help again, yeah, just come on to my stream or just help us in Discord or whatever. But I would usually suggest, when it comes to like actual suggestions, I would really say like whichever character you want to pick, I feel like you should always pick the ones that is based on the upcoming Guild War, just because that Guild War is just way too important of a freaking event, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So I really do suggest you to actually bump up your power level into fit Guild War rather than I need help in other elements kind of things. Like, yeah, you everyone does, right? You need help for like other elements too, sure, but at the same time, it's like, is your Guild War setup ready? Is it like lacking in specific things? Then yeah, you probably want to focus on that instead, because Guild War is just way too important, and struggling in that event can be a really, really bad thing, just because you're gonna be missing out a whole lot of shit. So yeah, all right, that's really about it. I don't think I'm really got much else to add there. So till then, take it easy, stay safe, drink lots of water, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time whenever I put out a video. I don't know, might be soon though. Yeah, because Luffy and a gang, but that will be next week because I'm waiting for everyone to be out. So if you're expecting me to put out Luffy or Nami already, think again. Because Luffy's gonna get full limit break and she doesn't have it yet. So I'll wait till when it's all collected and all released. Yeah, thanks. Alright. Okay.